Hello everyone, welcome back to, where are we at?
We're in Wyoming, y'all. We're in Wyoming. We are staying right now, we're on vacation obviously. We're between Cody and the east entrance to Yellowstone National Park. And man, check out this view, y'all. We are staying at in this valley between all these mountains. And it's just, oh my gosh, I could stay here forever. Or at least until winter comes.
Yeah. if it weren't for winter, this place would not be so sparsely populated. But winter definitely makes it to where we have all these wide open spaces because the winters are that brutal here.
Yep. So we came for vacation to Yellowstone, and this is not a vacation video. We're going to show you and talk about a few things, but we have some reselling things to talk about to y'all also. So we're going to move like into the shade because that sun is like blinding me right now.
Check out these views.
We want y'all to see this view, yeah.
And we have a big picture window on the side of our Airbnb. But there's views from every window though. But that big picture window, you look out and you get this.
And there's one on the other side too to see that way.
We're surrounded by mountains and not a whole lot of people everywhere we look. It's just incredible. And we're about how far are we from Yellowstone here?
We're about a
half hour?
Yeah, 20 to 30 minute drive to the east entrance.
Yeah. All right, let's go get in the shade.
Okay.
So yeah, let's keep this. It's kind of hard for us to talk about reselling and work right now, but we did want to get another video up. We tried really hard in the week leading up to this vacation to get enough content backlogged so we wouldn't skip a beat. Almost got there. We missed a day.
Yeah.
Actually 2 days. One of them we just missed. The other one we're doing now.
Yeah, yeah.
Because we did want to share some of this. Like when we were driving through the pass, I had never seen anything like this. It was 8,500 feet elevation in June.
To get out of the park, like, yeah, to leave the park, the east side.
And we had all this snow. It was like a winter wonderland up there.
We were up in the mountains. You can see there's still quite a bit of snow up in the mountains, and the parts we went through, there was a lot of snow still, iced over ponds and lakes. And we'll, as we talk, we'll put up a few pictures for you guys. We're not making this a vacation video. Like I said, we do have some stuff to talk about. One of those things is when you go on vacation, what do you do with your eBay store and the other websites?
Right.
Other platforms, yeah.
And so on eBay, it's called Time Away, and we did that. We plugged in when we were going to be starting and when we were going to be ending Time Away, and during that time handling times are automatically changed for you.
Yeah.
And handling times are automatically changed for you, and it puts a little note on the item page.
Yep.
Please note seller is away, and until it gives the date.
It gives a date of when your item will ship, yeah, or when you're, yeah.
And on the other platforms, Etsy, Mercari, and Poshmark, you're basically just turning your listings off. You're putting it on pause. And because those handling times are usually a little bit longer, we'll turn those back on earlier than eBay usually. But yeah, because of that, and because of the extending handling time or vacation mode on eBay, it will affect your sales big time. Yeah. Like the way I look at it, because sales just get not quite turned off, but the way I look at the sales we make on vacation, I look at it as just anything we sell, I'm happy for it. Bonus. And it's bonus.
Bonus.
That's the exact word I was gonna use, is bonus.
It's been about a little less than a week since we've been had that turned on eBay, and we've sold 20 items, just to give you kind of perspective on how it affects our sales. Yeah.
Right. Now the good thing is that, you know, we can turn the sales back on just before the weekend, and hopefully get some, you know, grab some more sales over the weekend at a higher rate than we have been getting them all week.
Yep.
But another thing that really kills your sales when you're on vacation mode is we're not actively listing either, obviously.
Right.
And a lot of days when we're pulling orders, you'll see that, you know, a good portion of the orders we're pulling are things that we recently listed, like within the past week, or even the day before, or a couple of days before, because that's the fresh inventory. We don't have any fresh inventory going up. Right. And for the record, I did try to see if there was a thrift store around here, and there's not. just to see if we found a home run, we could ship it back home, but there's nothing here.
You know, one thing I've been thinking about while we've been on this vacation, Candace, is as we drive around and we just don't see very many people or houses or things.
Yeah.
I'm wondering, like, if I was a reseller here, I'm not saying it would be impossible to do.
I think it would.
I think it would be very, very, very difficult.
Yeah. Now we haven't been into Cody yet because we've been spending our time in the park. So I don't know how big it is or what their population is. So it may be possible. I'm really not sure how big the city is. You know.
There may be some unique opportunities that don't exist elsewhere.
Yeah.
But yeah, in general, I think you need population to have, you know, used stuff
for full-time reselling
to source. Yeah, I mean, you could do like an augment type reselling thing from anywhere.
Right.
You know, like if you just need a couple $100 a week or something, yeah, you could probably do that here. Or maybe you would be, you know, I imagine people that live out here maybe do a lot of sourcing, buy like pallets of things. Or
yeah, you could do that. Yeah.
And then another thing to consider here too, of course, would be the weather.
Yeah, the winters are pretty harsh. I mean, I imagine it's been pretty windy in this valley already, and I can't imagine what it's like in the wintertime.
I think it's brutal.
Yeah.
I think if it wasn't brutal like it is, there would be like a next door neighbor.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we have been keeping tabs on our sales, of course. Early on, we were like messaging everyone, say, hey, want to make sure you notice that we're going to be away and it's not going to ship till this date. If that's okay, great. If not, let us know and we'll be happy to cancel and refund immediately.
Also, when we responded to offers, there's a place you can add a message. We wanted to make sure that they knew that they saw that, you know, before they accepted an offer.
And there's something to be real careful of when you're on time away mode on eBay. And if you get buyer initiated offers,
yes, then
that's fine. You can accept them and it will hold with your return date.
Yeah.
Okay. If you get a buyer initiated offer, they send me an offer and then I counter offer and then they accept, that's also still considered buyer initiated because they started it.
Right.
Okay, now what you want to be real careful of is not to do any seller initiated offers while you're on time away mode.
Right, or right before.
Right, yeah, exactly. Because like if we do seller initiated, if we would have done seller initiated offers like the day before we left, those offers are good for like 48 hours.
Yes.
And they would not apply to your time away.
Say you're going on vacation on Friday and that's when you're going to start your vacation mode, right? You're going on vacation Friday, you're starting your vacation mode that day. The day before you send out offers, well, that's good for 48 hours. So even though on Friday you put it on vacation mode, if they choose to accept the offer, then it's going to go back to your original handling time.
Right.
So just be very careful about doing that before you're going on vacation or putting your store on hold or whatever.
And we've actually had quite a few offers and we've made counter offers and we've made sales like that. And I went in and I'm like, oh my gosh. The first time I did it, I was like, I kind of forgot. And I'm like, oh my gosh, is that considered seller initiated or not? You know, the counter offer. And I went and looked at the ship date and it's like shipped by and it gave the end of the vacation day. I'm like, whew. But we have had it before where we've been dumb enough before to actually start auctions.
Yes, we've had to so started auction like the week before, not thinking about it's going to end while we're on vacation. So we've actually had to box up auction items and bring them with us and ship from wherever we are.
Right.
Yes. So yeah, be leery of that too with auctions.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, we did have one pretty bad thing happen during this trip. All right, we keep moving around. We're trying to run
from the wind.
We don't want to go in the house because there are other people there.
Yeah.
You know, don't want to invade their privacy or anything like that. Whoa.
Hold on,
I might also What are these? These look like some bees or something in there.
Yeah, there's some kind of bees. I don't know if they sting. They're not happy we're here. They're
Okay, yeah.
moving again.
Okay, let's move. All right, y'all, we keep moving. Whoa. Oh, look, right here. We have a little windbreak.
We're running from the wind.
We're trying to get away from the wind. We're on the other, here's the other side of the
house, yeah.
the house, you can see here. But yeah, we did have some bad news. We sold, and man, you know what? That I really feel like this item was cursed from the start.
I see. I know we checked it, but I didn't know that we were looking for this. So let's tell you what happened.
Okay, so we sold this Hot Wheels portal thing, Hot Wheels ID portal, and I opened it up, I saw the cars, and for whatever reason I made a mistake. I did not check for the actual portal itself, which was in a little slide out tray. I don't know why, but I assumed it was in there. So I made a mistake.
Yeah.
And lady, she ordered it for I think her grandkid or something, and she messaged us like it was like 3 or 4 messages within about
5 minutes.
About 5 minutes.
Yeah, she was like frantic basically.
And the last message, or one of the last messages within the 5-minute time frame before we had even seen the messages, a reply, or I'm gonna have to leave a negative review or something like that.
Yes.
And so by the time we looked at the messages, and at first I was like, man, is that right? And then I looked at the photos and I was like, oh man, you know what? I think she's right. I immediately said, you know, because we always have to entertain the possibility that they're lying or scamming or whatever. But as soon as I looked at the messages and I looked at the photos and I thought back to when I was listing, and I was like, you know what? I didn't check that.
Yeah.
I didn't check that. And the potential, the possibility that someone was scamming on something like that was very low. And
because it was not a high dollar item.
no,
I mean, it can happen, of course, but it just didn't feel like it was.
and I felt like I made the mistake.
Yeah.
So I tried to go into damage control mode. However, the problem was, after she left those 3 or 4 messages, she immediately after that, I guess we didn't respond within, you know, a couple of minutes, and she left negative feedback.
Yeah.
So I replied to her. I said, we refunded all the money immediately. I told her it did come with 2 cars. I said, please keep the cars. They're compliments, blah, blah, blah. And I also asked, it's like a helicopter or something over there.
Yeah.
We've been hearing something flying.
Well, we heard it go behind the mountain, and now I think it's coming back. I don't know if it's airlifting somebody out of the mountains or what's going on. Which is how sometimes.
Oh no, it's a big truck.
Oh, is there a road up there?
Yeah, it's a big truck.
Okay.
Okay, we're fighting wind and truck noises and stuff. But so I immediately refunded, apologized, sent another message saying, you know, you're right. We made a mistake. It was not intentional. Very sorry. However, if you can, I can't remember how I'll put it up here. I did ask them to revise the feedback.
You sent the feedback revision, yeah.
And
I haven't heard a word, really.
No, they didn't do a feedback revision. They did not reply about it or anything. And you know what? Bottom line, I think most times, most eBay sellers feel like
Most deserve this.
Most eBay sellers say when they get a negative, they're like, you know, that's BS. I don't deserve this, whatever. In this case, I can say we did deserve it.
Yeah.
Now, would I have appreciated just a little bit of grace from the buyer, a little bit of understanding? I would have.
Or give us time to respond.
Right.
Yeah, so it's a bummer that it happened, but it is going to happen sometimes. I think part of the reason it did happen because we had that big buy and everything was new in the package. And
I made some assumptions.
yeah, made assumptions, which you should never do.
No.
Yeah, so moving on from that, you know, it's just going to happen sometimes.
It was a mistake. And one more thing, about handling negative feedback, and here, this is like the real reason, or the biggest reason I wanted to mention it, is not to say we're horrible sellers, because I don't think we are. I think we're good sellers that made a mistake. The way that you handle a negative feedback is very important. Okay, so she put that item was not complete, item was missing
It said
parts.
missing parts, yeah.
And so when I replied
On the feedback.
to the feedback, and I'll show the reply here, you have a couple of options here. One way you can reply to that feedback is you can say, buyer didn't give me time to reply. I was willing to offer a full refund.
Yeah.
Beware, other sellers beware, blah, blah, blah. You know, you could take that approach, and that might be somewhat satisfying to you for a few minutes. However, the problem is whenever people go to look at a seller's feedback, they're not going to go, oh, let me go look at all the positive feedbacks. The first thing they're going to do, they're going to drill down to only looking at negatives and neutrals.
If they see negatives, they're going to look and see what the person had to say, like why did they leave that negative?
Right.
And if there is a response from the seller, they're going to want to see how that seller handled it.
Right.
If they were gracious and took the blame,
Yes.
or if they were trying to put the blame back on the buyer.
And in a situation where you truly are not to blame,
And we've had that also.
and we've had that too. I think you really need to temper things, and like you don't want to take a bunch of, you don't want to apologize for something you didn't do, and you don't want to take the blame for something you didn't do, but you also don't want to, you don't want to get into like a back and forth kind of, you know, get too defensive there.
Yeah.
Because you want to write it. Here's the bottom line. When you write a reply to a feedback, you want to write it not to the person that left the feedback, but you want to write it with this in mind. The next potential buyer is going to read my reply. What do I want them to think about how we handle adverse situations?
Yeah.
Because something could go wrong with the next buyer's order, and they want to know if something does go wrong, because things do go wrong, how likely is, how much of a hassle is it going to be for me to deal with this seller?
Yeah.
So I think it's bad that we got a negative. I think we handled it well as we could.
I think we deserved it.
We did deserve it, but I also feel like if someone takes a minute to look at the negative, I think they're going to see that we are honest people that made a mistake and owned it and fixed it to the best of our ability.
Yep.
And I think that's the important thing to do there.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I wish we didn't have it. We still have 99.9% feedback. I don't want to get another negative, don't get me wrong.
No.
But
So yeah, that was a lesson to us, and we know that we should always check things, whether you think they're new or not. Sometimes things get resealed or whatever. So we know that it was just a slip up. You know?
Mistakes are going to happen though. Like if you watch the channel enough, you see like we make mistakes often, and most people I think do. It's just, what do you do to try and recover from the mistake, or what do you do to try and learn from the mistake? And yeah, I wanted to share that with you guys, because I don't feel like people share that kind of thing on YouTube very often, because a lot of people, and I understand this, I kind of felt like this early on myself. People feel like that if you're going to be a seller on YouTube, then you really need to be perfect.
Yeah.
And
like how can you even start to tell people how to run an eBay business whenever you make mistakes?
right, how can you where's your credibility? Like, but in my opinion, acknowledging that mistakes happen and that you are not perfect, and how do you move on from there, to me that's actually more credible than just ignoring the mistakes that you make, because everyone makes mistakes. Everyone, I promise you.
Yeah.
So wanted to cover that. Wasn't fun too, but yeah, I mean, we learned a little something, and we got to share it with you guys. Okay, so that's all of the
Shop talk.
that's all of the reseller related stuff. We do want to share just a few images. I am going to make like some videos later that'll probably go up on Garage Geek Guy. I'll probably make one video with a bunch of
Which is another
stuff.
channel he has that some of you probably don't even know about.
And that's just for our own stuff. But we did want to show y'all a few things because we thought they were really cool. A lot of the geological features in the park, geothermal features.
So, yeah, so Yellowstone basically sits on top of a volcano. My brother is here on this trip with us, and y'all, he is like a geology fiend. He doesn't do it for a living, but he probably could. He knows so much. He's like been looking at rocks and telling us how they were formed and all that. So it was really cool to see the geology aspects of the park, not just to go there for the animals. So we've seen like a lot of geysers. There's just geysers everywhere, just shooting steam out of the earth or bubbling up. Like pools of mud gargling.
Yeah, little blop, blop,
yeah.
blop, blop. And another really cool thing, we went to these like clear emerald pools, and it was a little chilly, so there's a lot of like steam coming off and blowing across, so we couldn't see it quite as good as you normally could.
And the steam is because the water coming out of the earth is so hot because of it being a volcano.
It's basically boiling temperature water. But yeah, I mean, this is stuff that we have never seen before and may never get to see again. So we wanted to share it with y'all here. Another thing we've seen lots of wildlife. This was from yesterday. We saw those, the rams.
Rams on side of a mountain. We're just driving down the road and they're you know how they get like on the side of a straight cliff. They're standing on these little bitty ledges. I don't even know how they get up there.
I feel like we were very fortunate to see that.
Yeah, I don't think very many people get to see that.
But yeah, we were lucky to see that. One time we saw, do we have photos of do we have anything of that bear just going across the white snow?
Going through the snow, like through those mountains we were talking about to get to the park. There was this black bear walking across the white snow, and it was just a beautiful scene.
Right, especially the black bear on the white snow, just a nice contrast. Obviously we saw, well, not obvious because not everybody knows, tons and tons of buffalo all over the place. Bison. A lot of people call them buffalo or American buffalo.
Everywhere. They are everywhere. Even when the first day we got into the park, like we could drive maybe just a few minutes, and here they come just walking along the road, and we're like, wow, this is incredible. We were just amazed. And
oh my God, it's right there.
We were going down the road, kind of leaving the park for the day one day. It was like 4 in the afternoon, and this herd of bison decided to migrate at that point. As a herd, they got on the road, and we had miles and miles of cars following them for about an hour and a half, going at bison speed. It was a bison traffic jam. It was the most crazy thing ever. Finally, a park ranger came in his car and got behind the herd and started flashing lights and weaving and kind of guiding them, like kind of like a wrangler. He was kind of like guiding the herd to get them off the road. It was pretty amazing.
Yeah, it was also a little frustrating, although it's their park, not ours. I get that, and I'm glad they have all that place to roam safely, and but still, hour and a half, and it was at the end of the day. We were all tired and we were ready to go home. So but yeah, just wanted to share a few images. Oh, and we'll end with Old Faithful, because you can't come out here without seeing Old Faithful. So here it is. And yeah, looking forward. We're really enjoying this trip. By the time y'all see this, we'll already be home. I am looking forward to getting back to work. To be honest, I'm looking forward to getting back to Pip Dog.
Yeah, we miss our dog.
Pippin's been staying with family for a week, and I'm just worried now that he just thinks we abandoned him forever, because we've never left him like this.
Nah.
Usually we either brought him with us, or
someone keeps him at our home,
or someone kept him at home.
Yeah.
So I want to get back to my Pip Dog.
Yeah.
I miss him bad. But anyway, thanks a bunch for watching, and we will, hopefully with no further hiccups in the near future with video release schedules. But we should be doing vlogs Monday through Friday, and then I'm gonna pack it on
and Wednesday.
Sundays and Wednesdays. That's the plan. Thanks a bunch for watching. Hope y'all enjoy. We'll see y'all again very soon. Bye, y'all.
Bye.